Hi, and welcome to the Authentically ADHD podcast with your host, me, Merman Iris. I am an early childhood special education teacher. I have ADHD, and I'm an ADHD life coach. I'm here because my goal is to teach as many people the latest research, give you tips, tricks, and hacks to help you make your life easier and better to live with ADHD. I want you to make things work for you and not to create more work for you. Are you ready? Let's get started. Hey friend, this is just a reminder to you that I am an early childhood teacher and a coach for ADHD, and I'm an ADHD. I am not a doctor, so if you need to seek help because you resonate with the topics that I'm talking about in this episode, I urge you to please see your doctor or seek out a psychologist or a psychiatrist or somebody who is licensed to help you, because again, I'm a coach, not a doctor, and I want to stay in my lane. Thank you, and let's get back to the show. Hi, and welcome back to the podcast. Today, we are talking about something a little bit different. And this is because I feel that it's very important to really focus on some of the positive things that can come along with ADHD, to focus on the things that you do right and the things that we are getting good at. See, here's the thing. Regular human brains are biased to the negative. So if we do something wrong or something we perceive as bad, we are way more likely to beat ourselves up for that than to celebrate the things that we do right. So I'm here to ask you to please stop doing that. Please. It's not easy. I'm not going to just say, like, okay, after you listen to this episode, you're totally going to know how to, just harness those strengths and know what they are and use them to the capacity. But I want to let you know it's possible. I want to let you know that checking in every day, and not even every day, every other day or every week, just to try to see, where am I doing well? What's working and why? Why is it working? How can I apply this to other parts of my life? Because to tell you the truth, ADHDers, we're special people. We have some really awesome skills that come along with our super unique brains. So I am super excited for today's topic. Welcome back to the podcast, and if you are brand new, welcome to the tribe. I know you're going to love it here. I am so excited to dive in. Are you an adult with ADHD who is looking for a program or community to become a part of? Well, I have the answer. Visit ihaveadhd.com/focused and join the Focused program. If you want my link to get some money off, let me know. It has changed my life. Let me know if you want my coupon code for $50 off your membership to Focused, the program for ADHD adults, led by Kristen Carter. So, why strengths? Why this topic? Why would I spend a whole podcast episode focusing on strengths? Well, all humans actually have a brain negativity bias, meaning we are more likely to focus on the negative than the positive. Um, Not so overtly as somebody who wins the lottery and then stubs their toe and the whole winning of the lottery is ruined. Not quite to that extent, but we do have a negativity bias. I mean, think about it. You have something, great happen to you, and then something, bad happen to you. Which one is going to stick out in your brain more? Another thing that I noticed is, say you have a really, really good service at a place, or you have really, really bad service at a place. Which one are you more likely to go and put a review on? I mean, I'm a different kind of person, so I'm gonna put a review on the good person. Um, if the person's bad enough, I might give a feedback review, but most people would just give the negative review. Okay, so we have this negativity bias and in ADHD brains because we've gone through this our entire lives. If we are, you know, diagnosed late in life, we have been told a lot of these things for a lot of our lives. So the negativity bias is stronger. Another reason I wanted to talk about this today is that ADHD doesn't go away. Okay. As we get diagnosed and treated and things like that, it doesn't just go away. It's something we can manage. And sometimes people think that just getting diagnosed and getting treatment is going to fix like all of the issues and you're going to be able to be 100% in all of the areas of your life. But that's not what it is. I also want to talk about the superpower stigma. So there are a lot of people that say that ADHD is a superpower, and I'm going to talk about that. So when we're diagnosed and treated, we literally think that we are able to be 100% in every area of our lives. Now, this is perfectionistic thinking because no human, ADHD or not, is 100% in every single area of their lives. Like you're just not. Nobody is 100% at work, at home, with their family, with their friends, with their work, with everything. You just aren't. And self-care and all of those things. Um, as ADHDers, we have to pick a few areas, and I'm going to go into a few examples where I kind of show up as like a hot mess in this, and then where I have the strengths and how we can kind of change that perspective for you and view yourself with those strengths. So, I want to touch on the whole ADHD as a superpower or a gift idea. I don't buy into it. Is my brain special? Yeah. Like I used to buy into the whole thing, but I realized that personally I was using it as kind of like toxic positivity against myself. I have no feelings, no hard feelings, all respect to anybody who believes that ADHD is a superpower and their gift. That's wonderful. But for me, I do not truly feel that this means that my neurodevelopmental disorder that contributes to my forgetfulness, how easy I can get distracted and or lose track of time, wanting to start a task so bad and just literally not being able to just do it, that causes sensory overload and emotional explosions, usually at other people, affecting my relationships, my disorganization, my lack of attention to detail, and my incredibly sucking working memory that affects me at work. I don't believe that any of that is a gift or a superpower. If it was, I'd love to return it and get all my time, money, and energy back from all of my ADHD mistakes. Like, right? Like, can I get a amen? Like, how many times have I run late because I can't find my keys? I made a wrong turn, or I like got distracted when I was supposed to leave the house and I didn't leave the house on time because I was doing something completely unrelated to getting ready to leave the house. How many times have I washed and then rewashed laundry because I left it in the washer overnight or I never started it to begin with? I'm sure, like you, I could go on a whole day about the mistakes that I've made and still make to this day because, you know, of all the brain's negative bias and like growing up likely being told, most of us likely being told we were doing something wrong, that we weren't paying attention, that we were forgetful and or late, disorganized, etc., etc. So today we're going to shift that perspective and I invite you to ask yourself, what are you good at? What do you love doing? Do other people tell you you're good at certain things? What are they? Now, if this is uncomfortable to do, you are not alone. I invite you to first do it out loud and then possibly write it down. If you want to, you definitely don't have to. But those are a couple of questions to just start with about strengths, because I also want to go into some misconceptions about ADHD and our strengths and attributes and just the things that people contribute to ADHD that's not necessarily just because of ADHD, okay? Like we're not just creative or we're not just idea machines because we have ADHD. It's specific ways that our brains work. Not every ADHDer has wonderful ideas all the time or is super duper creative or usually we hone in on one of those skills, kind of like the rest of the population. We are good at a lot of things and we do get interested in a lot of things. And I'm going to explain some of the misconceptions and how to find those real strengths that you have and pull them out of you and use them to your advantage. Because let me tell you something, I thought talking a lot was a disadvantage. Guess what? Guess what talking a lot is good for? Having a podcast. Yes, like I'm telling you, you can find your strengths in things you think are bad attributes about you. So I invite you to please think about that for a minute. Think about the things that are even attributes that people say are negative about you and see if you can maybe think of how they could be a good thing. Hi, listener. If you're a long-time listener of Authentically ADHD, I've been at this for a whole year. I haven't taken a break in a year. So for the next 2 weeks, I will not have new podcast episodes coming out because school is starting and I'm going to be busy. So I'm going to take my own advice and take a break. But don't worry, there are at least 90 episodes that you can listen to, and I'll be back after those 2 weeks. All right, now back to the show. So, the reason that we have some of the strengths that I'm going to list is because of the way our brains are wired. These strengths come from our cognitive ability to think outside of the box. We have something called ingenious thinking or innovative thinking. And it's a skill that lets us view and approach challenges in ways that a neurotypical brain wouldn't, which is why we are able to come up with fresh, new ideas that usually can work. And that's just one of the many strengths that ADHDers can have because of and due to our impulsivity, our lack of our lack of passing of time, that it attributes to our hyperfocus and our ability to hyperfocus onto things that interest us. It's also because we have an interest-based nervous system, so it stimulates our nervous system when we're learning about something we like. We can be creative. We have a strong, really good sense of humor. We also have a really strong sense of fairness. We have a willingness to take risks. We're spontaneous. We have really good conversational skills. A lot of ADHDers have drive and we're very persistent. A lot of us can get into the flow or hyperfocus on things that stimulate our nervous system, our interest-based nervous system. We are very generous and compassionate and empathetic people because we are so sensitive, because our internal systems are sensitive, our brains. So we are able to be that for other people. Now, these strengths are things that are just general. You can think about the fact that, are you a good leader? Are you a good model? Are you a good, what do you do well? And what do you enjoy doing? Because I can tell you right now, I would not have been doing this podcast for this long if I didn't enjoy doing it, okay? That's just not something that I would do. This podcast is something that I love doing because I love spreading awareness. I love meeting new people with ADHD, and I love helping people. I'm a helper. So I invite you to ask yourself to pick 2 to 3 areas of your life to be great at, and the other areas can be messy. I'll tell you right now what my 2 areas are: work and my own personal development. Everything else is a little bit messy. I'm not so great at organization, and yeah, I run late, but I'm going to come with my best work, and I'm going to come with everything I can internally because I've tried to develop as much as I can. Another tip that I want to give you is to get self-awareness. And I think I say this in every episode, but we lack self-awareness, my friend. So getting your thoughts out on paper, looking at your thoughts on paper every day really, really helps us. Okay? It really helps to reflect on your day and really pick out those wins and then celebrate them. Even the small ones. You got up and showered today? Celebrate. You got up and did the dishes today? Celebrate. Because those things that are quote unquote easy for neurotypicals are not easy for us. They are not easy, okay? I want you to start telling yourself this should be hard. Life is not easy with a neurodevelopmental disorder, especially ADHD. We can't regulate ourselves, you guys. Regulation is so hard, especially when you have a bunch of things going on. This reminds me of a TikTok that I literally just posted, and it's about having ADHD and what your brain sounds like. And I don't know who made the music track, but they put 7 or 8 songs on top of each other. And I just imagined that if you add some clacking of keyboards and some banging on drums in the background, it would be perfect, because that is sometimes what it feels like in an ADHD brain. So picking out those strengths and celebrating your wins are the really, really important things to do. And I would love to hear about the wins that you've celebrated. So please connect with me with the link in the show notes. And I will see you guys, or hear you guys, or be back with you guys in about 2 weeks. That's all I have for now. And stay authentic, my friends. We'll talk in a bit.